Well, hello then, I do hope you're all right. I will be as brief as I possibly can. And what we're witnessing here is a right palaver where, if I'm honest, nobody comes out with any glowing colours, should I say. Now, what you're seeing here is, this is Kelly Tolhurst, the Conservative MP for Rochester and Stroud. Now, why is she got her knickers in a twist in the picture? Well, all will become apparent. Well, in this debate, this was the levelling up a non-agenda, or the myth you'd like to say, that people like Boris Johnson and Michael Gove have been punting. And as Lisa Nandy, his opposition, was poking holes in it, poking fun at our Boris Johnson. And then she brought up a situation that I'd heard about, well, this will be yesterday, where the MP for the Isle of Wight said, I voted for our Boris Johnson in the confidence vote because he promised some investment money, which, the way he phrased it, now I don't know if there's any truth in it or not, but it did sound a little bit like corruption. And as things went on, he, quite rightly, if he jumped up and got rather salty about it, but he was not too happy about it. But to say, as Lisa Nandy went on, Kelly Tolhurst decided to throw her tuppence worth in, and then it just went downhill from here. And I'll just say again, nobody came out here within any flying colours, but it was rather funny to watch.
Only too well as well the impact that this has on communities up and down the country, and the shameful way we've been treated by the government, with promises to come forward with action and measures. And as my honourable friend, the member for Brighton, said in the Secretary of State's opening remarks, not a single mention of net zero in this document. I mean, what is the commitment, if it's anything at all? And I was starting to wonder what they had against Yorkshire, but then yesterday I saw that they'd also casually scrapped the Goulburn link, a decision that appears to have been made in the face of pressure from Tory MPs ahead of a confidence vote in the Prime Minister. This is going to create havoc for people trying to travel by rail across the North West, and it plays into the real problems that we've already got around east-west connectivity. And then I saw that the member for the Isle of Wight, just give me a moment, the member for the Isle of Wight said he'd voted for the Prime Minister to keep his job after receiving assurances that there would be a funding review for his council. Can I ask the Secretary of State, if his council... I certainly will, but can I ask the Secretary of State, did he have knowledge of this? Did he sign it off? Because let me say to him, that sounds awfully like corruption from me, and please let me take an intervention.
I remember James O'Brien bringing this up, and I thought that's very, very interesting. Let's see how this goes. Should be a bit spicy.
She completely misunderstands, and she gets it completely wrong. Several years ago, the Prime Minister realised that the Isle of Wight was the only island in the UK that doesn't have a multiplier. So the Scilly Isles gets a multiplier of 1.5, the Scottish Islands gets a Scottish Islands needs allowance. And I said to the Prime Minister, will you commit to rectifying this wrong, which is a policy flaw? And he said yes. And I reminded him of that promise beforehand. So did I ask for a bag of cash? No. And it is completely untrue for her to say that, so she can get up now and apologise. Yeah.
Do you believe him? You know, they got his word to take for it, but with this extreme Brexit Tory government, I won't believe anything they say, but you could be right. Who knows?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and of course I'll give him the opportunity. Order!
That means sit down. Now, this is a very sensitive point. I want to hear what the Honourable Lady has to say. Lisa Nandy.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I, of course, gave the honourable member the right of reply, but I am quoting literally and directly from a quote on his own website. So if those are not his words and those are not correct, I leave it up to honourable members to judge. I am simply quoting his words to the Secretary of State and asking whether this is correct. Because today we have had a report that says in stark terms that this is a department...
Point of order, Bob Seeley.
This is a very serious allegation. Corruption has been alleged, and there is no basis for it, and it should be withdrawn.
Order!
Stop clutching your pearls, mate.
This is a serious allegation. I'm not in a position right now to weigh up one side of the argument against the other because I don't have the evidence before me of whatever words were published and whatever words have been said. So I would ask the Honourable Lady... No, she can't possibly be looking at her phone while I'm speaking.
Please, Nandy, please tell me you're not looking at your phone. That doesn't look really good beer, does it? Oh, God. Not that. I get the feeling what she's going to do is she's going to bring up the tweet or whatever it is. That still doesn't look good, does it?
Speaking to her. She can't possibly be. No, she can't possibly be looking at her phone while I'm speaking to her. I will ask the Honourable Lady to get us over this part of the debate, and we can come back to this matter at another time. Would the Honourable Lady please withdraw the... Don't shout at me when I'm speaking from the chair. Will the Honourable Lady please withdraw the allegation of corruption, which is a very serious one, and perhaps find some other words to say that she disagrees with what the Honourable Gentleman for the Isle of Wight has said, and then we can proceed with the debate and if necessary, come back to this point at another point. Lisa Nandy.
Madam Deputy Speaker, out of deference to you, of course, I will rephrase my words in a manner that is far more acceptable to you. This looks awfully dodgy to me, Secretary of State. Was this signed off by you or by your department? I was happy. I would certainly never disrespect the chair by reading from my phone, so I won't do it now. But the words are there on the Honourable Gentleman's website, and if anybody cares to look at them, they can draw their own conclusions. And can I say to the Secretary of State that this matters? This matters at a time when councils around this country and communities around this country have had £15 billion worth of money stripped out of our communities by this government. This is not what respect looks like, because written into every part of this bill is a lack of respect, and every single honourable member who sits there chuntering and heckling rather than standing up for their own communities needs to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves whether they are doing a good job for their own communities. I certainly will.
So I do take exception, Madam Deputy Speaker, with what the Honourable Lady has just said. How dare she suggest that members on this side of the House aren't standing up there for their community, when we are quite obviously aggrieved with the allegation that she has just made against a fellow colleague.
Where did they get her up from?
So yes, we have got a right to chunter at her comments. Absolutely.
Stop clutching your pearls. Your Prime Minister's been doing all this nonsense since 2019. Now you're clutching your pearls. Get over yourselves.
She's got a right to challenge me on my comments, and so have her constituents. They might want to know why Kent has had £276.8 million taken from its budget by this government over the last decade. No, I won't give way, because...
Order, Mr. Gullis. Stop it. Lisa Nandy.
He'll probably be going as he always does.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I don't think I need to dwell on this point of lack of respect. I think we've just seen the most stunning display of a group of representatives who will open their mouths but cannot open their ears and their eyes to the realities of what is happening in their own communities. In the press release that accompanied this bill, sorry, Madam Deputy Speaker, perhaps I could address directly the honourable member who is chuntering again. If he cared one iota for his constituency, he wouldn't be chuntering at me. He'd be asking the Secretary of State where the missing £27 million has gone. No, we've heard plenty from him, and it's about time that he listened. We were given a promise of the biggest transfer of powers out of Whitehall, but instead what we have on offer in this bill is 3 tiers of powers. Now, the upper tier of those powers is still pretty limited. You can get priority for new rail partnerships, you can get a consolidation of local transport funding, you can get...
Emma Hardy.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Chair, and I wonder if I could seek your advice on how we can continue to have this debate in a respectful manner and stop the incessant chuntering and rudeness coming from members opposite.
Honourable Lady, I'm perfectly capable of working that one out for myself. Thank you very much.
Now, the thing is I've found quite funny is what's all the pearl clutching about? You've got a Prime Minister who's broken the law and you were quite happily to vote him in, and, you know, while people were not unable to, you know, visit their loved ones in hospital or say goodbye to their loved ones via Zoom, I bet Kelly Tolhurst still voted for him. And did she condemn our Bods Jobson when he brought up Jimmy Savile? The Jimmy Savile situation? I bet she did not. So spare me the pearl clutching, Kelly. you've no moral high ground here. But let's be honest, for the 7-8 minutes of all that, it was just pathetic to watch, and I get the feeling I think that's the way politics is going these days. But to be honest, I thought the way Lisa Nandy handled Kelly Tolhurst was hilarious, and the way she handled our gurning gullies, brilliant. But I don't think anybody came out with any glowing references, should I say. But anyway, I do hope you enjoy the video, and until the next time I shall bid you farewell and take care.